Alright fellas, Devin Haney's return is now only a few days away. We're set to see him fight Brian Norman Jr. on the Ring 4 card, which also includes the likes of Benavidez and Bam Rodriguez. This card is pretty mega, but out of all of the fights, I'm looking forward to the Haney one the most. Now, Haney is coming off one of the most lackluster performances the sport has seen of late. That Ramirez fight was real bad. He got the win, but it didn't do his reputation wonders. So, coming off this fight, he's now risking it all, going against one of the hottest fighters within the division in Brian Norman. Now, Norman the knockout artist is currently a world champion, yet he's relatively untested, so it's certainly an interesting matchup on paper. And now, with this fight being only a few sleeps away, I want to answer the question, does Haney have a chance at winning? And if so, can he save his career in the process? Now, Devin Haney over the last 24 months has become one of the biggest villains in the sport. Not often do you have a situation where the guy who didn't pop for PEDs is made out to look like the villain, yet the Haneys managed to amazingly pull it off through a number of tragic PR disasters, and the hate only continued to ramp up after that Ramirez fight. That fight might have been one of the worst winning performances I've ever seen. It was a disaster for Haney's image. He got the win, but it didn't feel like he did. It's all been a bit of a spectacle to watch, and honestly, I've been a pretty loud critic over some of the decisions he's made over the last 18 months. Although the one thing I can absolutely give the Haneys credit for is that with this comeback now, post-Ramirez fight, they've been trying their best to get the toughest matchups within the division. The boxing world has a very short memory, and it was only a matter of months ago that Teofimo Lopez ducked Haney. The deal was there and Lopez wouldn't sign. So moving on after this, after losing this big name, the Haney camp didn't go and get some stooge out of the lower half of the top 10 that they could get an easy win against. No, they went and signed a deal with the bloke who many have been running from. Brian Norman Jr. This guy is a knockout artist. He's talented and feared. Haney has taken one of the hardest challenges he could, and against a name who isn't a big money earner. For all the hate he's gotten of late, you gotta give him some credit for taking the tough challenge. Now, that's why I was pretty confused when fellow YouTuber True Geordie put out a video calling Haney a coward. Now, in my opinion, no one who gets in the ring is a coward full stop, and it's especially rich coming from a bloke who's turned off his Twitter replies because he's scared of mean words from people on the internet. So I'll let you guys decide who's truly the coward. But back on the track, does Norman have the skills to defeat a technical boxer like Haney? Well, I definitely think he has the tools to trouble him. Now, Norman's a fast, sharp, and dangerous sort of fighter. He can certainly crack through high guards and throw with real conviction against somebody like Haney who sometimes freezes under sudden pressure. Those bursts could steal moments or put Haney into some real trouble. Norman is comfortable and strong for the weight. He fights confidently on the inside and doesn't mind making it ugly. Fighters who have had success against Haney in the past have previously bothered him through closing the distance, punching between shots, and bullying him physically, and Norman certainly has the skills to do exactly that. While also, a good thing is, he doesn't wait around. Against a fighter who relies on rhythm like Haney, he can make and keep him uncomfortable from the opening bell. Haney's strengths, on the other hand, are almost the opposite of Norman's. Some of his most crucial strengths include his discipline, control of distance, and timing. Now, Norman's defense is okay, but it's not airtight. Haney's gonna see openings in things like his predictable high guard and overcommitment on counters. I'm expecting more of a typical Haney performance here, not like the Ramirez performance, more so the stuff we saw down at 135. Jab, smother, reset, repeat. As long as Haney isn't actually damaged goods, I would think they would want to replicate the style that we saw so often down at 135. Now, if Haney can get back to doing what he does best, the longer the fight goes on, the more of a chance Haney has at winning. Norman doesn't have the championship experience over 12 rounds like Haney does. Although I do think Norman's aggression will really test Haney early on. If Haney can absorb and take that punishment, it might end up being a bit of a long night for Norman. I am hyped to finally see Norman have a stage like this to perform on, although I am always slightly worried about fighters which come out of what I would call the Top Rank protection program. Now, Top Rank over the last decade or so have had some of the best matchmakers in the game, which have built up fighters for them to a high level without those fighters ever really being tested. Think of cases like Jared Anderson. There is a risk of him being underprepared here. Although compared to a lot of the recent examples, I do believe Norman is a step above, and I don't think he'll be underprepared, but it is food for thought. Yet, for both though, regardless of experience, there is a mountain of pressure for this fight. For both fighters, this fight is truly make it or break it. For Haney, he has to win to rejuvenate his career. He needs this win to turn the tide and make people believe in him again. Now, if he gets through Norman, he will have some mega fights on his doorstep, the biggest of them all being that Ryan Garcia rematch, which could end up being a title unification if Garcia wins his fight against Barrios. That would be massive, and it would give Haney the absolute chance at redemption. Now, if Haney loses, it will be a long path back to being a star. 147 is a deep division, and if he loses, there will be fights left for him, but his road back to the elite will be a long one. For Norman, on the other hand, this is his breakout opportunity. This fight will be many fans' first time ever watching him, and he's fighting against somebody who really isn't a fan favourite. If he can get the job done in dramatic fashion here, he could be the division's next star, and find himself in some mega fights also. If he loses though, he won't get a rematch. That belt is long gone, and he will have to rebuild from the ground up. He is young enough to do so, but successfully rebuilding is never promised. Both have a lot on the line here, but that's what we love to see, and I think that's why I'm looking forward to this fight the most compared to the rest of the card. Of course, I'm looking forward to the rest of the fights, but I just don't think they are as close as this matchup here. All of them are a bit one-sided. I struggle to see how the likes of Benavidez and Bam lose their fights, but hey, boxing's a weird sport at times, who knows what can happen, so it is worth tuning in for the lot. Bam, if you haven't watched him before, is a delight to watch no matter who he's fighting. His boxing brilliance is something to be admired, and the Benavidez Yard main event is destined to bring violence. So, for the first time in a little while, we do have a whole card which is genuinely worth watching, but for this fight though here, my final prediction is Haney via a tough unanimous decision. I think he gets tested, but I think he pulls through and gets the win. Although it is such a 50-50 fight that I wouldn't be surprised to see it swing either way. Yet now, I want to hear what you guys think at home. What are your thoughts on Haney? What are your thoughts on Norman? What are your thoughts on the fight? And who do you see winning and how? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. I love reading every single one. If you did enjoy the video though, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it really does a ton to help the channel. Yet, thanks for watching fellas, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.